Hi, it's Rich here. Thanks to AG1 for sponsoring this episode of 1865, the Nottingham Forest podcast. If you haven't heard, AG1 is a comprehensive and convenient blend of over 70 high-quality ingredients, and it's so easy to drink. The first thing I do when I get up in the morning is add a scoop of AG1 to some cold water, give it a shake and drink. It's as easy as that, and it's now part of my morning ritual. As the new year gets underway, I like the fact that AG1 is one of the easiest things I can do for my health. AG1 contains vitamins and nutrients to support my immune system and key minerals and natural ingredients to help me maintain my energy levels and focus. As AG1 is a more-in-one supplement, it's so much simpler than stocking up on lots of different types of vitamins and supplements, and a really easy way to support a healthier lifestyle, especially as we're coming out of the gluttony of Christmas. 1 scoop of AG1 per day supports energy, digestive regularity, immune defence and a healthy mood, so I'll be ready to take on whatever 2025 has in store for me. Looking to give AG1 a shot? Subscribe now and get a free bottle of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription. Go to drinkag1.com/1865 and get started today. That's drinkag1.com/1865.
Head to Whole Foods Market to jumpstart your January during our New Year boosting event with savings on feel-good favorites store-wide. Save on organic picks, wellness staples, and more all month long.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello and welcome to 1865, the Nottingham Forest podcast, our match report following Forest's home win in the FA Cup third round against Luton Town, with goals in each half from Ramón, Sosa and Ryan Yates, meaning they won by 2 goals to none progress without much scathing into the next round, the fourth round of the FA Cup. I'm your host, George Edwards, and I'm joined by Tom Newton for this one. We're going to have a look back at the game, we'll have a break, get a view from the opposition, and then we're going to look ahead to that very tasty-looking match on Tuesday night as Liverpool, the league leaders, come to town as Forest look to go within 3 points of them. But let's get back to the game then, because, Tom, these games I don't think are never the most exciting, are they, with the sort of changed atmosphere, if you like, with a lot of children able to go to the match and things like that, which is nice, obviously, for people to get to go out. But it's very hard, I suppose, to get up for the game if you're a player, which it shouldn't be, but it always seems to be. And obviously a much changed team as well. So getting the job done for me was enough. Was it for you?
Yeah, pretty much. And it was just a case of getting through the game. I know it was a potential banana skin playing a team from obviously a league below. But yeah, we got through it, no injuries, and all sets up for Tuesday against Liverpool.
And we're in a position, aren't we, where I thought this season would be able to prioritise the Cup, because many fans were thinking, right, let's take that next step. Let's not have much worried about relegation, maybe finish 11th, 12th, 10th, maybe push top 10. And then this type of the season, when we're pretty much safe, maybe push for an FA Cup. But obviously the position Forest are in now, they can't really warrant prioritising the Cup. So I think we'd have seen a lot of changes anyway, but you saw Murillo, Gibbs-White, not even in the squad, Aina as well, really protecting them and prioritising the league. Do you think that was certainly the right approach from Nuno?
Yeah, pretty much. It was just a case of, well, firstly, it shows our strength and depth. And, you can just basically say to your, your regular starters, you can have the weekend off. Because when you look at the Forest squad, I mean, last couple of seasons have probably not been in a position to do it, but flying high in the league, the depth with the squad, with obviously the likes of Josh Silva, Ramón, Sosa, etc., coming in, played really well today. I think we all knew it wasn't going to be like a fluid, well-oiled machine of the past month or so, but got the job done, and first and foremost, no injuries, like I said a second ago, into the fourth round. And job done. Professional display by Forest, and let's be honest, the Forest didn't even get out of second gear, did they? They were pretty didn't break sweat throughout the game. And I mean, Miguel's made a couple of decent saves, but apart from that, they didn't really offer much, did they, Luton?
No, not at all. Let's look at the team news then. So 11 changes from the Wolves game, unsurprisingly. So Carlos Miguel played in goal. There was a back three of Harry Toffolo, Morato and Willy Bolly, Alex Moreno and Eric da Silva Moreira, the wing-backs, with Ryan Yates, the captain, and James Ward-Prowse in midfield. And then a front three of Ramón, Sosa, Taiwo Awoniyi and Jota Silva. Now, obviously, a back five, which a lot of people were trying to figure out before the game with three fullbacks in there. Would it be Toffolo left back and Moreno maybe on the wing, Jota inside, or would it be what we saw with the back three? But Forest at the minute, Tom, it seems like it's less about the formation and more about the personnel. Like you look at the Everton game and Nuno set up initially with a back five with Murillo there, but he got injured. And rather than bring Willy Bolly or Zakabe into it to stick to that system, he brought Sosa and he went for a back four. So even though maybe you'd think naturally he'd keep that system, that formation to get the players playing in the first team's way, it just seems at the minute that how the formation is doesn't matter. It's the personnel, and he trusts everybody to get the job done in the way that he knows we will.
Yeah, I think it comes from pre-season. Nuno always said last season, give me a pre-season and I'll show you what I can do. And he just shows what kind of coach he is. He's very adaptive. We've got like different scenarios. We've got different formations. And you can just see how well coached the players are, because like against Everton a couple of weeks ago, we lost Murillo with about, 20 minutes until kickoff. Sosa comes in, plays really well at Goodison Park. Then today, players come in, and it's, like it says, it wasn't the well-oiled machine of the past month, but players know what the jobs are now. And there was spells where we was really good, and then there was other spells where probably that final ball was a bit lacking. But yeah, like it says, we've got players in there who fully understand what's expected of them, and they come into the side, do the job, and again, it's another clean sheet, and that just goes to show the job what Nuno's done since the summer, and the players have obviously took it on board and playing really well at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And the formation allowed, with the lesser midfield, allowed Morato and particularly Toffolo to step up at times and be aggressive, win the ball, and that's where Forest saw a lot of chances come from. I think they were almost just waiting for Luton to present them the ball, because they did that quite a lot, and Forest were always in a position, as they are with the way they're set up, to pounce on that and to counter-attack. They had an early shot with Jota after Sosa found him, and it just flew over the bar, and it took until 40 minutes for Forest to get the lead, Tom, but I don't think anyone was really concerned about that. I think Forest were firmly in control, and I don't think anybody was really concerned, Tom, were you?
No, I mean, Luton only had that real shot at Carlos Miguel's goal in the first half, where it's routine for a keeper what's like 6'8", and yeah, I think it was just a case of Forest just finding the right moment, and they had that chance earlier in the first half when Awoniyi probably just took it off Jota Silva, where Awoniyi probably thought Jota Silva was probably like struggling to make anything of the chance kind of thing, and obviously that's flashed wide, and Jota's had a chance where it's just gone over the bar. Then obviously Yates has had a superb shot, hasn't he, and absolutely cracked the bar, and Kaminski, he didn't know where it was, and I think he was like fortunate that the ball didn't go into the top corner. But yeah, I think it was just a matter of Forest just being patient. I was never concerned that Luton were going to score today. And if you listen to like other podcasts and who've had like preview shows and they've had like a perspective from a Luton fan, it's been pretty depressing. Yeah, it's been pretty depressing from a Luton perspective this season. Obviously, Rob Edwards has stanked the place out with some like turgid performances. The loss against QPR, didn't they? Was it Monday night or whatever? And they've just been relatively poor. And I think after today's game, I think that's 11 away games in all competitions they've lost. So, not a lot's going right for Luton at the moment. And, I was never overly concerned that they would trouble us today looking at that team, because you just looked at it and think there was enough quality on that field to see the job out without, like I said earlier, without getting out of second gear.
And it's quite amazing, because I think last season we were all confident we had a better squad than Luton, and the fact that it was very similar to us. It was Luton's first season. They had a lot of drive behind them from the fans who were never going to turn on them. And that's what kept them in that relegation battle for so long. But to say that this time last year we were fighting with Luton, they came back from 2 goals behind to draw 2-2, and then similar thing at home. They wouldn't go away, as we got so used to hearing, but Forest were really comfortable in that race. It's amazing how in the space of 6 months, Forest can go third in the Premier League and rocket, and Luton can go the other way. It's amazing what football can do, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And even I think the point deduction what we got kept Luton closer to us than anything. But yeah, and that final 5 months of the season, they were pretty awful, weren't they? Luton kind of thing. And if we didn't get that point deduction, and we probably would have got more points on the board. And they had our number last year, didn't they? 2 draws in the 2 games what we played them. But so it just goes without being up my own arse or anything like that. It just shows you the recruitment. I mean, they basically banked the money for their new stadium, which it basically builds on builds a foundation for future generations at Luton to move out of Kenilworth Road and move into that 25,000-seater stadium near the train station there. So, yeah, they've had different ambitions, and if that's their ambition that they want to build a stadium, fair dues, because obviously they didn't really spend money on players, did they? Whereas we already had an okay stadium. I know we're looking to redevelop it in the next few years, but the players what we've got are like Muratos of this world, and obviously Milenkovic and all of that, and then Murillo and Danilo. Yeah, it's just head and shoulders what has gone to Luton. But yeah, it's just a case of where we are at the moment, and we've gone one way and they've gone the other.
Yeah, there's a few other chances before we got onto the goal. Obviously, you mentioned the Yates one that he got so close with hitting the bar. Then there was a nice free kick put in there by Ward-Prowse that was difficult for the keeper because it dropped just before him, and there was a few players in there, but he did well to react late and keep that out. There's a few performances I want to talk about as well, because I think Taiwo surprised me. He looked very confident on the ball, with his back to goal. He could find a pass. He was getting involved a lot, and that's not something you've always associated with him. But I thought he had a really shining first half, and Jota Silva as well. He often pulled off to the left side, didn't he, and tried to go and help with Sosa rather than staying on the right, which is where he was maybe lined up to play. Jota obviously got man of the match in the stadium at the end. But what did you make of those two's first half, Tom?
I thought Taiwo, he started well and did a job up front, but I think sometimes when he had the ball, and because Jota Silva kept drifting either left or right kind of thing, there's no central focal point, like an Elliot Anderson or a Morgan Gibbs-White, because James Ward-Prowse and Ryan Yates are probably more defensive.
More sixes, yeah.
Yeah, so I think sometimes Taiwo did okay, but I think he was just looking for that, somebody to be near him, and they weren't a lot of the time. So, a bit of a thankful task up front. He was chasing a lot of lost causes, but I think he did okay. But I think he faded in the second half, and obviously when we brought Wood on. But I think Jota was very vital with what we've seen of him so far this season. He's full of energy, isn't he, and wants to get involved. And I think the more I see Ramón Sosa, it's incredibly hard coming from South America straight into obviously the Premier League, which is it's unforgiving, isn't it? And I think when Ramón Sosa actually played, I think he's done okay kind of thing. And he's still young. He's still got plenty of time to improve and get better. But yeah, I thought he played well today. Obviously, he set up Ryan Yates for the first goal and scored a nice goal, or a nice build-up play on the right-hand side, and slotted it away, pretty similar to the one against Brighton earlier in the season away. So, I think all of them did okay. I know obviously they're not going to be as good as a Morgan Gibbs-White or an Elliot Anderson, but food for thought that they can be relied on later in the season if needed. Yeah,
just lastly on Taiwo, I was thinking how protected goalkeepers are there, any sort of someone sneezes on them and they get a free kick. The amount of wrestling that Taiwo had to contend with, and obviously a lot of it is him as well, and it's not always a free kick, but I don't think he got a single free kick. And at one point, Mark McGuinness had his sort of elbow over Taiwo in a headlock, and it just baffles me how strikers can be so unprotected, yet goalkeepers are so protected. Go on, Tom.
Yeah, I just thought the goal. I thought the referee today, it was a bit iffy at times, wasn't it? Yeah. Some daft decisions and other decisions you just let go. I think it was just a bit of a wishy-washy performance from the referee, but yeah, it wasn't a fact of what happened in the game to a certain extent, but it's just some decisions were just it is what it is kind of thing. But at the end of the day, we got the 2-0 win in the next round of the FA Cup.
Well, similar to the Wolves game, wasn't it? I don't think Darren England had not Darren England, who was it? Peter Banks, wasn't it? Yeah, the best game at Wolves. But last season for us, we would have maybe that affect the result, but they still just got the job done. And we actually, I don't know if you noticed, had the same liner that we had at Wolves. And he was woeful at Wolves, I've got to say. He was better today. He was woeful at Wolves. He never put his flag up at all.
Yeah, and a lot of the time he was behind play, and there was a couple of times today where he was behind playing. We was in the upper Bridgford when we finally was let in there today. There was a couple where he was behind playing. He's like, well, VAR wasn't obviously available today, and he was behind the player at some occasions, and we're probably like, it probably might have been offside if VAR, but he wasn't in line with on a couple of occasions, especially when Alanga come on, and like who can keep up with Alanga at the moment. But at the end of the day, the linesman and the referee weren't really talking to points, were they? Because we won the game and didn't really break sweat.
Yeah, well, back off the tangent and back onto the pitch then. Forest took the lead just before half-time, as Tom mentioned, recycled a corner very nicely, got it back wide to Ramón Sosa, then he cuts inside, bit of space, brilliant ball in, and I think if it was just Taro in there, they'd have dealt with it, but Ryan Yates snuck in there in front of him and the defender nodded it home. Brilliant cross from Sosa. I think Forest have got very good at getting into those positions wide left and actually finding a ball rather than just passing it around. We see Hudson-Odoi do that a lot. And then Ryan Yates finally getting his goal at the City Ground, not in the Premier League, which I think we're all waiting for, but a solid header, Tom, and a nice way to go into half-time 1-0.
Yeah, I think we deserved it. And like I said, I wasn't too worried about not getting the goal. I think it was just a matter of when, if we had the right moment in the game. But it was a nice cross in there, and obviously Ryan Yates has just got his head in there, and it's quite a nice finish actually. I was right behind it in upper Bridgford, and obviously Kaminski's got no chance, and right in the corner, and 1-0 at half time, and I think it was deserved on the pattern of play, to be honest.
Yeah, certainly 1-0 at half time, Forest in control, and then second half continued in very similar way. I think Luton had their moments, forced Miguel into one save, but it didn't take long for Forest to create. I think it was, 68, 69 minutes. Yates involved again. It's a ball into him, and I think it's a 50-50. Him and, what was his name going in for it as well? Welsh, wasn't it? Going in for the 50-50. But Yates made sure he was favourite there, and not only got there, played a lovely sweeping ball over the top in true Forest counter-attacking style. Jota Silva away on the right wing, and he's not the fastest winger, certainly, but he got away. And then I shouted from up in the Brighton Club stand, go alone, go alone. But he did the right thing. He squared it across goal. And then Ramón Sosa, a very striker-esque run and finish from him, slotted it into the corner. Those two obviously combined at Brighton as well. So that's 2 times that they've linked up. Really good move. And a goal tucked away by Sosa. I think a really happy moment for him. You could tell he loved scoring that, Tom. And Forest in control, never going to throw it away from there, were they?
Yeah, pretty much. And it was like a bit of a signature goal from us, wasn't it? Obviously got into a wide position from a decent pass from Ryan Yates, and he has picked out Sosa, and he's not missing that. It's really good play, and you just know when we're getting those positions at the moment, just you can put your house on it, can't you? And we're slotting it away. So that movement, what's been a signature for us for the last few months, obviously told again, hasn't it? It's a nice pick out from Silva, and Sosa, a really good, neat finish.
And Jota, sometimes, in play, in possession, it is a bit rash and sometimes he makes the wrong decision. But in front of goal, Tom, every time he seems to make the right call, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, that goal against Brighton, he could have gone alone and got his first goal in the Premier League, but he's unselfish. Obviously, he's just played it to Sosa, and he did the same again today. So, he's an infectious player, isn't he? Jota Silva. There's sometimes where his head goes and gives away stupid free kicks, like against Spurs the other week, but he's exciting, isn't he? He's one of those players he's not boring, to say the least. And he's done all right when he's played, and he's definitely an asset for us because he's always got something to give, hasn't he?
Yeah, in terms of defensively, then Sal's made a nice save from Morris towards the end with a header, didn't he? That was very close range. But Miguel, thanks, Tom. Miguel made a nice save from Morris late on, and in the first half he mentioned a sort of distance shot that he pushed over the bar from Welsh as well, and there was one that he had to keep out and from very close range as well. So 3 decent saves from Carlos Miguel. I think something I thought was everything seemed like it was hard work for him, maybe because of his height, and that's something I thought of Pantilimon as well. His distribution wasn't okay, but it was a solid performance, Tom. So I was thinking, he's a good backup option that he's proving, but Sales is certainly the number one at the minute.
Yeah, Sales has obviously cemented his place as number one. I mean, there was talk earlier in the season about getting another goalkeeper, but the way Sales has been this season has been magnificent. And Carlos Miguel obviously has come from a different culture and a completely different type of football in Brazil, because obviously the Brazilian Premier League or whatever it's called over there. It's not going to be, obviously, you're going to have quality in it, but it's not going to be the same quality as the Premier League. So obviously he's had to bide his time to play for us. I mean, if we carried on a bit further in the Carabao Cup, he probably would have got more games. And obviously today was the first game in the FA Cup for us. So, yeah, I think it was a solid performance. I mean, you're not going to have like an absolute superstar as your sub-goalkeeper, are you? But you just want a capable goalkeeper who can fill in from time to time. And, yeah, he did what was asked of him. I mean, his distribution was a bit patchy at times, but that might go down to the fact that he's only played his second game all season. So, yeah, I'm not really going to split hairs on that, because at least he didn't do anything like Matt Turner, where he's like passed it straight to a opponent.
He's still in your head, Tom, is he, Matt Turner?
Well, I think he will be for a good few seasons, kind of thing. So, but no, I think it was just a capable, solid performance by him. And yeah, the more he's going to play, obviously he's going to get better, kind of thing. And he did everything what was asked of him today.
Well, I might beg to differ a little bit when you said you're not going to have a superstar as your number two, because we did start one season with Muric as our number one and Samba as our number two.
Yeah, good point, yeah.
Look how that turned out. Yeah. And then the moment we were all waiting for came on 85 minutes. I think it was only a matter of time before Danilo was going to be involved again. Before the Spurs game, actually, he was in the car park at the Brian Clough stand, and I took a picture with him and my little nephew, and he got out of the car, was walking towards the ground very safely, and he said to me he'll be back in January. So I was waiting for that. Then we saw him at Wolves come with Murillo at the end to be serenaded by the away end. And then finally today he was involved in a matchday squad for the first time since the first game of the season, and everybody was singing his name before the game. Brilliant round of applause when he went for his warm-up, and we were all wondering whether Nuno would put him on. But yeah, with 5 minutes to go, I think it was always going to happen. Danilo with his introduction, and he was very warmly greeted by the City ground. Tom, I think the positivity he brings to the squad and the attitude to come back so quickly, it sums up this Forest side, and it was a lovely moment, wasn't it? Yeah,
definitely. He's done really well since, because when he went down within the first quarter of the game against Bournemouth.
6 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked. I know it was a bad injury, but it looked like a season-ending. We just didn't know what, and to get back just after halfway point of the season, he's done really well. And the thing is with him is that because we're not like struggling as a team, we don't have to like rush him back. We can drip feed him. And that'd be good for his recovery. But no, it was a nice moment for him. Nice, few decent touches, because psychologically having that injury, obviously it's going to be like lonely in the gym and everything, building your fitness back up and all of that. And yeah, just to get out there and get back into the rhythm of playing again must have been a massive relief for him. So, and
if you were listening to the radio, you also hear him go for the interview as well, which is such a lovely thing. And you hear him and Murillo trying to learn English, and that's what you've got to love as a fan. But him coming back and Ward-Prowse's performance as well, who did okay in that midfield, it means Forest maybe have a quandary on their hands, because the bench might be a bit midfield heavy. Does one of them miss out every week, particularly with Sangare on the horizon, Tom? So do you think Danilo might make the bench against Liverpool, or will it be a rotational thing?
Probably a rotational thing, to be honest, because, I mean, no disrespect, it wasn't his fault. Obviously he got injured, but I think Danilo's got to understand the fact that the team's been playing really well. We haven't been struggling. Yeah. So obviously the players he's got to like get back in, and he might have to like rely on an injury, which I'm not wishing an injury on anybody, or suspension kind of thing, and get in that way. Because if you think at the start of the season, Nico Dominguez was probably like fourth or fifth choice.
It was, yeah.
And look where he is now. He's like probably one of the first names on the team sheet. So yeah, I think he's just got to bide his time. I mean, let's not forget he's come back from a really bad injury. You don't want to rush him back so he breaks down again, kind of thing. So yeah, basically, yeah, just drip feeding him in. You don't need to rush him back, and obviously it'd be better for it in my view, because in the past we've like rushed Taro back, and it hasn't been long before he breaks down again. So yeah, manage him properly. We've got quality in abundance, so and let's just like drip feed him in and just utilise the squad, because obviously now with obviously the season, you don't know who's going to be suspended or injured, etc. So yeah, just use your squad and we'll be better for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at full time at the City Ground, it was Nottingham Forest 2, Luton Town 0.
The NFL playoffs are better with FanDuel, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Guaranteed. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in select states. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to 1865, the Nottingham Forest podcast.
Hello and welcome back to 1865, the Nottingham Forest podcast and a match report after the FA Cup third round 2-0 win over Luton Town. It's now time for the view from the opposition from Ryan McCole.
Good result for Forest, deserved win. Didn't have any expectations coming in after 10 defeats on the road on the trot. So, and Rob Edwards getting sacked this week. So, was glad you made 11 changes. Thought that might give us a little chance. You never know. But your second goalkeeper's rather good, isn't he? And rather big and tall. Seems to make some good stops. But you look comfortable and put some good football together. Second half, thought came into it a little bit, Luton, but too little, too late, really. And chucking a few strikers on, that always happens, isn't it? Going for the game. Thought Carlton Morris looked good. Even James Perch gave him a nod on the commentary. But yeah, onwards. Wish you well. Good result for your guys. And I wonder if Luton can go for the old concentrate on the league now after this. But funny enough, a lot of the players were saying it was the best performance for a while. A lot of the fans were saying it's the best performance away for a while. So some positives to take for Luton. And we'll crack on. Best luck for the rest of the run. Hope you can go all the way.
Thank you, Ryan. Wish you well, Tom. That's not something we thought we'd hear Luton fans saying this time last season.
Yeah, I think they're absolutely at the moment with what they've witnessed since the summer, it's been a bit depressing, hasn't it, in Luton. So, but a couple of things from the game before we talk about the Liverpool match on Tuesday is it was nice to see Mick Harford on the touchline after his battle with cancer. He's a Luton Town legend, and for the so it was nice to see him back. And then another thing, which is probably, I wouldn't say shadow of the day, but I think it was an absolute farce today in terms of our sitting Upper Bridgford. So we got told by the club, get to the ground with enough time, because obviously the trialling this digitalised ticketing system. And I get to Colic Road and there's a long queue. I thought, it might be just teething problems. And I look further down the road and the turnstiles weren't even open at 2:00. And no communication from stewards or anything like that. They're standing there, but with no information. Then around about 2:25, that basically says, the clearing ice from the stairwells going into the where obviously the seats are. I know Forest, obviously they can't let anybody in because of health and safety. I get all of that, but a bit of like pre-planning would have averted people not getting to their seats until 20:04.
Yeah, I was surprised or thought they might even delay kickoff at some point, because at 2:55 there was about 100 people maybe in the whole stand. Yeah, some fans were saying, they're delaying kickoff, and as soon as obviously the Robin Hood video and all that type of thing, and obviously the entrance music was playing, and then we heard a roar, and then the players were coming to the pitch. There was no obviously suggestion of delaying kickoff, when obviously I think 5,000 are in Upper Bridgford couldn't get in. I think it's a bit piss poor, to be honest. Yeah, not the best, and hopefully Forest do more than just the apology that they've issued about that. Lastly on the game, Tom, obviously through to the fourth round. The draw is, as you're listening to this today, after the Arsenal-Man United game. Anyone you'd like, home or away? What's your preference?
To be honest, always nice to have a home fixture, because obviously we do a lot of travelling. Well, I do a lot of travelling because of obviously being one of the lucky ones to get away tickets. So it'd be nice to play somebody from the lower leagues, like League One or somewhere. Like I think Birmingham got through today, so somebody like that kind of thing, and somebody a bit different, because obviously when we was in the Championship and we did get a Premier League team, it used to always be like Arsenal or Chelsea or someone like that, and obviously we'll play them week in, week out at the moment.
Yeah, a bit of a Premier League.
So yeah, anybody local really, kind of thing, somebody a bit different. So I'm not really fussed really. As long as we get a home tie, I'll be happy, because it's the 8th of February, isn't it, when the fourth round of the FA Cup, and hopefully, I mean, first and foremost, the league takes priority of where we are in the league at the moment, but it would be also nice to have a parallel of a decent FA Cup run.
Yeah, well, being based in London for uni, I'm hoping for a London away game, but probably the only Forest fan maybe that's hoping for that. So let's move on then to the big game that everybody is talking about. No injuries, no extra time, and another clean sheet for Forest, meaning that's 5 in a row, I think, now, clean sheets.
Yeah, I don't think we've conceded a goal in 8 hours worth of football in all competitions. So unbelievable, isn't it? And that's even with like back 5 today, which basically was
second string.
Second string. Yeah. So and obviously as a second choice goalkeeper. So yeah, it just goes to show how resolute we are defensively at the moment.
It's just a well-oiled machine that Nuno has built up. And yeah, Liverpool coming to town under the lights at the City Ground. That's got to have something special, because all those special moments always seem to be under the City Ground lights. And over the last sort of 18 points available, Forest have got 18 from 6 games. Liverpool have only got 12. So they've closed the gap by 6 points, and winning this would see them go within 3 points of Liverpool at the top of the Premier League. I really can't believe I'm saying these words, and I think until the end of the season, until we actually achieve something, it's not really going to sink in, Tom. How are you feeling ahead of that one? You can't be confident.
I think obviously last week I didn't think Liverpool were that good against United. I thought at times United were very, very close of getting the 3 points last week, and there's still a brilliant side, Liverpool. Let's not forget that. They've still got some terrific players, obviously, Mo Salah, Gakpo, McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Darwin Núñez, etc. But they're not invincible. I think you can get at them. I mean, Gary Neville made a point on Kirk Holmes last week. If you can get down their flanks against like Alexander-Arnold, because he doesn't like defending at the best of times. And I think Andrew Robertson, I think he's on the decline. And then if you miss out Van Dijk, which were quite good in that situation, obviously the goal what we scored against Wolves earlier in the game last Monday, where we've obviously picked out Gibbs White. If we can get in those positions, I think we could hurt Liverpool. But yeah, let's not take our eye off how hard the game's going to be, because they're not just going to lay down and do nothing. They've still got quality all over the pitch. So, can't wait. I think nights like this under the lights, I think that's when the best of the City Ground comes out. I think everybody will be pumped for it. And, hopefully it's a great game, and hopefully we get something out of it, which I think we will, with home advantage and all of that, and how well we're playing at the moment.
And you look at Liverpool, obviously all those games are under Klopp. This is the first time in Arne's slot Liverpool has came. But you look at they've came over the last 3 years, 2 narrow 1-0 defeats, and then the win, obviously, in the first season. Liverpool have struggled against us, that 90 minutes that we played last season. They scored in the 98th minute after Paul Tierney handed them the ball. They scored a lucky goal, and Forest missed, obviously, Zinke missed that huge chance in the FA Cup. Yeah. So Liverpool, it's not like they came and strolled to town here, and Arne Slot keeps talking about us as well, which is quite funny. So the thing about it is the media keep underestimating us. I don't think Liverpool will, and I don't know if that's a positive or a negative thing.
Yeah, well, up until last season, we had an unbelievable record against Liverpool at the City Ground. I know there was like a 23-year gap until we played them from when we got a 2-2 draw in April 99 when Van Hooijdonk scored in the last minute free kick at the Trent end. So, they become, and obviously at the back of their minds, they're thinking, well, we've been pretty decent this season, but we're playing against the team who's actually beaten us and we haven't scored against. So I think with obviously the likes of Milenkovic having a weekend off, and obviously Elliot Anderson, Gibbs White, etc. I think we will be a massive test for Liverpool, and if we get chances, we've got to put it away. We've got to be clinical, and we have been clinical, haven't we, in the last month or so, there's been games where there's not been loads of chances, but we've stuck them away.
Well, like today, what we've created 2 chances and scored them, but Kaminsky's not made a save, has he? So that's a perfect example of what we're doing at the minute.
Yeah, exactly. And and we've been scoring early, haven't we? We scored early at Everton, scored early against Spurs, and obviously Wolves last Monday night. So, yeah, I think, we're in a really good state in office. We're in really good form at the moment. And, simply cannot wait.
And over the years, I've grown up with Forest being a pretty crap mid-championship club. But where we are now, with the stars on our badge, with the history, with the fan base, with the stadium, everything about it feels like we belong where we are. And I think no matter what the result, I don't think it will faze Forest. I think if they lose, they'll just carry on back into the mindset that Nunes instilled in them and still be, favourites to get towards the top 4. And if they win, it'll be something special. So, strap in, Forest fans. Thanks for joining me, Tom, and thanks for listening as well. If you want to find where to find the podcast on social media or other listening platforms, you can search the words 1865 football to find all of them. We'll be back after the, as mentioned, Liverpool game for another match report. But I hope you enjoyed that. 7 wins on the spin, 4 clean sheets in a row. Forest into the FA Cup 4th round. You Reds.
Thanks to AG1 for sponsoring this episode of 1865, the Nottingham Forest podcast. If you haven't heard, AG1 is a comprehensive and convenient blend of over 70 high-quality ingredients, and it's so easy to drink. The first thing I do when I get up in the morning is add a scoop of AG1 to some cold water, give it a shake and drink. It's as easy as that, and it's now part of my morning ritual. As the new year gets underway, I like the fact that AG1 is one of the easiest things I can do for my health. AG1 contains vitamins and nutrients to support my immune system and key minerals and natural ingredients to help me maintain my energy levels and focus. As AG1 is a more-in-one supplement, it's so much simpler than stocking up on lots of different types of vitamins and supplements, and a really easy way to support a healthier lifestyle, especially as we're coming out of the gluttony of Christmas. 1 scoop of AG1 per day supports energy, digestive regularity, immune defence and a healthy mood, so I'll be ready to take on whatever 2025 has in store for me. Looking to give AG1 a shot? Subscribe now and get a free bottle of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription. Go to drinkag1.com/1865 and get started today. That's drinkag1.com/1865.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
The NFL playoffs are better with FanDuel, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Guaranteed. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in select states. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.